Well, that's a good goddamn morning to you. Shit.
Well, I mean, it's cool for most workers, but it's only for this year. It's not a federal holiday
Right.
But it's still, he just gave Christmas Eve too. So everything's behind a day. Now they're saying another day, and the budget hasn't been released because everybody's waiting to see what Trump does.
I don't know. You guys ever see a bull in a china shop? That's probably about what it's going to be like.
Well, that's the thing. I'm still not sure if it's a bull in a china shop thing that's going to happen, or if it's more of just, it's all just voice, It's just rants.
Yeah, but the problem though is inaction is still a problem, right? If you're not, even if it's just him talking shit, like the fact that they're not doing the people's work is the biggest part of the problem and all that, right? Like,
yeah.
That's why we have government, is for them to like pass bills. Republicans haven't passed like a viable bill in like 8 years. Like they literally haven't passed anything. There was actually a Republican that went on the floor and was like, guys, give me anything to campaign on. We haven't fucking done anything. Like, help me out here. It's like, all right, guys.
The thing is, if you go back and if you remember, I mean, the old school, and everything changes and evolves, but like, it was the way I grew up. Old school Republican was very much, I'll take care of myself. Fuck the rest of you. No, if I'm dying, leave me. I want to take care of myself. I don't want the government oversight. I want a big military to protect us, but I want, I want the rest, everything else to be left alone, kind of thing. And you had the Democrat who was like, hey, we shouldn't need such a large and vast army because we should be working for peace. And also here, we're also going to take some money that you've given us to help out the less fortunate. Well, neither side does that shit anymore.
Well, that's the funny part is, you get all these people screaming about, oh, the radical left. I'm like, we don't have a fucking left wing. The last left wing policy we had was what? Fucking Social Security, Medicaid. Those are the two biggest social Yeah, they might have had something in between, a few little things here and there, just state by state, but like
they'll also state Obamacare, which I can actually agree with. I can agree with most of the right on the Obamacare was rushed, wasn't needed because we already had Medicare, it was and still is a big waste of money where we could consolidate and not spend so much.
Well, it sucked because the Republicans kept blocking everything they tried to do. So it was literally like a fraction of what they were actually trying to do. And so then after they passed it, the Republicans were like, see, it sucks, guys. And they're just like, well, fuck you guys.
Well, being somebody in the healthcare industry, it sucked all along, dude. Yeah. What the Republicans were bitching about, you're right. They made it worse by fighting even more. They made it they are just as much to blame. But even the original was put out. I don't know who writes some of these bills. Most of the people I work with could do it better.
Yeah, well, a lot of times too, it's part of the reason why. So like, for example, like the debt ceiling, right? So that is just supposed to be something that needs to get done if it needs to get done. It's not supposed to be used as like a partisan fulcrum to like leverage things like, oh, well, we're not going to raise the debt ceiling if you don't give us this, or we're not going to do that if we're not. So like, that's the problem, is instead of just passing bills because they need to get passed because it's the right thing to do, each side is saying, well, I'm not going to do this unless you do this, and I'm not going to do this unless you do this. And meanwhile, they're literally just shitting on everybody. But that's what I mean. That's what
money was never really meant to be like the only thing that mattered. It was,
right,
a central form of bartering and trading. But the way they made it matter is saying that if we don't raise this debt ceiling and we don't do these things, our dollar is not better than everybody else's.
Well, right, and it's the same thing too with like the filibuster. Like at one point in time, it was like a meaningful tool to like express yourself about any given thing, and it turned from that to just people literally reading Green Eggs and Ham on the floor. Like, you see what I'm saying? So it's just like, it's not the institutions, it's like the people running them. Like, that's what I say when I was like, we don't have a left wing, because they're all they're either hard right guys, Republicans, MAGA guys. Like I don't really think, as you said, the traditional fiscal conservative actually exists anymore, right? But
Yeah.
even the Democrats are, right of center corporatists, like, because they're always going to serve themselves. That's why Bernie got fucking kneecapped multiple times. That's why AOC is likely to get kneecapped multiple times, is because they don't actually want real progressivism. If we were as far left as the right claims everybody is, where all this, that we would be in our flying cars going to our government sex robots that you know what I mean, like they claim like there was all this crazy left stuff, and we're just like, hey, can we have healthcare like the rest of the modern fucking world, like you know what I mean?
Well, and it's the same with, I mean, because there's people that get so wrapped up. There is extreme left. There is extreme right.
Oh, absolutely. Most of us are in the center.
Thrown in our, but it's thrown in our face so much it makes it look like it's the majority. You have articles hit to you all day long, and you see all this crazy things. And then if you really think about it, it's like, okay, they're talking about. There was a recent one that a guy, I think he punched or beat up a Jewish man, black man, something, and said, this is Trump's America now. Well, we read that, it was like, see, they're all like, no, that's one fucking dude out of billions of people, but they make it seem like everybody that likes Trump's gonna punch somebody else and say it's America now.
No, I don't agree with that, but I will say that there is something to be said that if you follow that specific ideology and you're okay with people like Nick Fuentes saying things like, oh yeah, your body, my choice forever and ever, you don't get to make a choice, ha ha ha. It's like, yeah, I don't think that somebody that kind of believes in that same ideology is going to necessarily be like a violent person, but like saying things like that and following people who say things like that is still kind of a violent thing, right? The guy is basically saying, yeah, I'm going to rape you, there's nothing you can do about it, you're going to carry the kid to term. I'm like, I can't, like I have a good buddy of mine that like I kind of had to cut off because he was just like, he literally told me, he goes, yeah, if Kamala wins, I'm going to take advantage of all those social programs and the housing programs and everything she has to offer, but I'm going to vote for Trump because I just can't vote for that bitch. And I'm just like, that's your right, but I kind of, he was like, well, I care about, my gay, trans, brothers and sisters, and I care for the women in my life, and it's very important that they're that they're safe and that they're taken care of. And I was like, yeah, I agree with all of that, and then he was just like, yeah, but I'm not going to vote for that bitch. And like that frustrated and it's not even the fact that he voted for Trump. Like, that's his right. He can do whatever he says. Like, I'm not going to be like, oh, you voted for, like, I'm in a band with two of the hardest right people you could meet, right? So yeah. It's not about the fact that he voted for it. It's about the fact that he said that he really liked the ideas of the other candidate and that he would take advantage of those programs. But then why would you actively vote for the antithesis of what you thought was a good idea, right? So it's like, I don't hold the fact that he voted against Trump. I hold it against him that he would say that he says and believes in one thing, but then seemingly does something completely opposite. It's
right,
very frustrating.
Kevin's very, very much a liberal, though. Like, he doesn't get in the shit, but he's a liberal. Like, he'll even say, like, he actually feels that Biden's numbers were good, and I'm like, yeah, his numbers weren't bad. It's just the guy shouldn't have been there. He was a bumbling, I was like, I don't think he made any decisions. I think it was everybody around him.
Well, I think
when you have we have some good friends that, like, they said, we voted for Trump. My best friend was calling me on the way to vote because he had never in his life really thought of voting for too many Democrats. Like, and he does not like Kamala. And he also says, he's like, and a few others say, we didn't get a good policy from her. She really didn't have the time. Everything was thrown into it. And he told me, he goes, you know what? I'm going to vote for Trump. You vote for Kamala. And then we could just say that we counteracted each other.
Yeah.
And I was like, because the biggest gripe I heard for Kamala, for people that are much more talkative about policies and what they want to see, a lot of it was, we might have gone for Kamala, but we really don't know what she would have done. She had no real campaign. Would she have, like, a couple months?
Yeah, I would say that's the biggest problem, is the fact that She didn't have a very long campaign. But also, I think that's part of the problem too. Is she talked a lot about, you know, the opposing team as opposed to talking like she was like, look how bad they are, and not like look how good we're going to be doing. But I mean, I thought she was pretty clear on policy. She was going to implement some housing policies, build a lot of homes. That's supposed to bring that down. She was supposed to put a chokehold on some of the larger entities buying up whole fucking neighborhoods. She was actually going to go after these companies that were price gouging. And then the Republicans are like, oh, you see, it's communism. This is fascism. You can't tell these corporations what to do. And so they didn't like that. But I mean, she had at least the core plans that, as I understand it, was housing, price gouging, and ensuring people had health care were like the three biggest ones. But I will agree that I don't think that she had the... You know, she just didn't have the time to campaign. I do think a lot of people were frustrated that they're like, oh, well, you know, they just put her there. And I was like, well, yeah, but that's the Democrats' right to nominate whomever they want. Republicans could decide tomorrow that they want to nominate somebody. Well, maybe not tomorrow. They can't do it now. But, you know, that's that party's choice to nominate whomever they see fit. But they're like, oh, they installed her like a fascist government. I was like, yeah, it's like it's always been kind of business as usual, like normal political proceedings, like, you know, appointing someone from a party, and they're like, oh, what are you doing? And I was like, people have always appointed. It was late in the game. I'll give them that, you know, but
well, because Biden dropped out.
Well, yeah, and you know what frustrated me too is they're just like I would rather, like, I get it, Biden's old. You know, and he might mumble and he might stumble, right? But I'd prefer like somebody who mumbles and stumbles who has good intentions, over somebody who, in my opinion, doesn't have very good intentions, who speaks really well. I would also say too that, I mean, the president has a cabinet for a reason. Like he doesn't unilaterally make decisions, and he's not smart enough to run everything. That's why he picks a cabinet. So I think that, you know, for people to say, well, he's old and he's senile and he makes these terrible choices, it's very rarely, you know, solely him making a decision. You know, they're supposed to depend on their cabinet for a lot of this stuff. So like his age wasn't really a concern for me, because I was like, well, yeah, he's old, but he doesn't just wake up and say, let's put on some ice cream and put on, you know, like, you know, there's other adults in the room keeping an eye and making sure, you know. And then they're like, well, were you okay with, you know, them telling you that Biden was fine and then they elected Kamala? And I was like, well, yeah, you know, that's how time works. Is at a certain point in time, he seemed to be fine, and then he had a couple of bad episodes. So it's important for a president to understand and say, hey, you know, maybe it's time for me to step down, regardless of whether they want to or not.
By the time Trump leaves office, he'll be 82.
Yeah, and that was the other thing that's frustrating too. If we're gonna pretend that, you know, being in your 80s isn't great for the country, then let's do that across the board. Like, if you want to nominate somebody who's like Trump that has his policies, fine, nominate that guy. But if you're gonna say Biden's too old, then let's go ahead and, I mean, let's face it here. It's a what is it? Fuck. It's like a kleptocracy, you know, but it's like the what's it called? Geriatric kleptocracy. It's like the oldest people are running the country, and they're just like digging into everybody's fucking pockets. So yeah. I woke up and smoked a lot of dope. So fucking. Hey, do you want to add me to a party so we can just smash stuff while I ramble?
Do we want to try that boss again that we got our asses kicked?
Ooh, I tried it again after everybody logged off. It's not easy. I mean, I can give it a try, but yeah, shoot me that invite. I still got to do. I'm still doing the Freythorn one though too. Actually, can I get through that one first, and then we can head out? It shouldn't be too bad. I couldn't do it on my own last night because I just didn't have the gear, the levels, or the skills. No, I think I do think there's.
I don't like either side. That's my thing, and I get so many people riled up because it's funny by the way I usually talk. Most people that are Republicans or even like conspiracy theorists and all that, I think that's a lot of it too. Is I don't denounce much, but it's like I don't really care for either. I veer more towards the left because I do believe there are times that people can really need the help from the government when things go awry, and so that's where I leave for. And also too, I feel that the left is much more apt to give us better education.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I don't necessarily, like, I will vote for good policy, but I just haven't really seen, like, quite literally anything that's going to be, people in Florida want to ban books. I'm like, I just can't get with that. You know what I mean? Like, they want to put, Bibles in every school in America. And I'm just like, yeah, bro, like, okay, well then we're going to have a Quran and a Torah and every other religious book then, right? So like that's the thing that really frustrates me is like I just feel like we're sliding sideways into this like hard right religious fundamentalist shit. And it's like I don't mind you guys, people want to be religious, that's fine. Like I don't have any problem with that. But like there's a difference between
What just happened?
Oh, I hit the portal thing. There's a difference.
Did you get the one behind us?
Is there one behind us? Oh shit, I didn't even see that one.
Yeah, you were standing right next to it. I was waiting to start that one, and then this went black. And you got to summon Finn over here first. Slow down, man.
So,
hang on.
But there's a difference between small R religion and big R religion. Like small R religion, like bake sales for the homeless or whatever, or like raising money, taking care of your community. Oh man, I'm all about that shit. It gives me a big spiritual boner. But like, as weird as that sounds, but
no, I think if you look at a big example is Jen's brother very much reads a lot of conspiracy stuff and does get wrapped up in time, but he has some valid points. But what he doesn't realize, and what the argument comes when I see him with the real people more left a lot, it's like you'll say that gives you a hard on. That's true. What he's bitching about too, though, is almost the same thing. It's just going back to that small community, help thy neighbor, but keep Big Brother out of it.
Yeah. I mean, I think part of the issue too is like, people say like, Big Brother and we don't want government to run stuff, and I'm just like, I think what we should be doing is looking towards other countries and what's working well there, and try and implement it here, right? So like, if you know a country that's happy and healthy, and their populace is like, yeah, we're taxed like 60%, but all of our roads are fixed. All of our, everybody has health care. Doctors there, they don't make, $20 million a year, but they're paid handsomely, even though they're taxed. And it's just like a different mindset. They're like, yeah, we have 2 cars and a nice place. Like that's all we really need. Like and the doctor is like, anything after that is just fucking greedy, and like, it's just so it's like, it's a different mindset. I just think like, if other countries can implement healthcare for their populace, we can too. And I'm so tired of hearing how are we going to pay for it? Okay, how do we pay $20 billion every year for a goddamn warship? We just decide it's important and we fucking do it.
It's funny. I was actually hearing quite a bit on how like much our lot. I mean, it's still better than a lot of countries out there, but like our military is so outdated with shit because we spend all this money and then we keep developing new shit, but we never maintain what we got.
Well, and that's actually funny you say that. That's partly why when people are like, oh, they're giving billions of dollars to Ukraine, I was like, they're giving assets. We're literally sending all of our old surplus shit over there so we can build new shit. And then basically, it's not, the U.S. isn't necessarily doing it because we give a shit, but what happens to a country
it's our
when
own way of doing a Cold War without being in the Cold War?
Well, and not only that, but what happens to a country when they go into debt to somebody? We will functionally own Ukraine. That's how that shit works. Like we're very good at nation building. It's not we don't protect people just because we want to protect them. There's always secondary motives, right? So it's helping Ukraine actually benefits the U.S. in a lot of ways. So we get rid of our old military surplus, we can build new shit, and then we have basically a foothold on Russia's doorstep. But yeah, I hope that 24-hour peace plan goes through that Trump promised. That would be awesome.
Well, so
I'm being
what was that?
facetious. There's no way you're going to achieve peace in 24 hours. Putin already said, "Go fuck yourself. We don't like your peace deal."
Actually, I thought Putin would like it. It was usually he got along with them. It's China he fought with.
Oh no, I'm just saying when Trump tried to broker peace after he won the nomination and Biden or fucking Putin rejected it already. He was like, "Yeah, no." So that was kind of embarrassing because Trump was like, "Yeah, we'll end this war. I'll just tell the guys to stop fighting and we'll all go suck and fuck each other in the back room." Or I'm paraphrasing, but I just like what
I heard Musk talking to somebody, and it was funny because they were talking about how rich he was and being more rich than like Putin. He goes, Putin's way more rich. He's like, he's got way more money than me. And he's like, they're like, what are you talking about? No, and he's like, nobody really knows how much he has. And there was an old saying that says that if you're really rich, you own an army. He owns a very large army. He's got more money than me.
Yeah.
Like, well, that's valid.
So you want to know? You want to know like it's crazy, right? So people will say, people on the political right will say, "Oh, we hate these rich coastal elites," and then they'll vote for a rich coastal elite, and then they'll be like, "Oh, yeah, George Soros and those billionaire donors," and then they'll literally worship Elon Musk, and I'm like, you guys realize you voted for a coastal elite, and you guys are now actively supporting a rich oligarch billionaire? Like, it doesn't make any sense to me. Like, is that not counter to the argument that they kind of loathe but are those billionaires and coastal elites, are those different now? Like,
I'm surprised that Elon's such good friends with Trump, with the fact that Trump always like makes fun of people with handicap, and the fact that Elon's a high functioning autistic guy.
Yeah, but he doesn't see it that way. He just thinks he's super smart and not fucking awkward as shit. Imagine being worth $400 billion and still being so fucking awkward it's painful. Like, money cannot buy you class. Like, there's nothing he can do. Like, he's just such a goofy, awkward fuck who, like, to absolutely talk shit and just thinks that, he's untouchable by anyone, so he can do and say anything. And I'm just like, somebody who takes a free speech platform and then charges for it, and people are like, yeah, he's about free speech. I'm like, what are you guys talking about? He literally bought something that was free and then charged people for it. Anybody paying attention? No? Fuck.
Did you start that?
Yeah, I'm sorry. It's just like, if you're going to hate on billionaires, hate on all the billionaires. If you're going to rip on the coastal elites, rip on all the coastal elites, right? Like, don't half-ass it. If you're going to have a philosophy, carry that shit through. Like, people point to Mark Cuban as being like a left-wing billionaire. I'm like, no, he's still an evil fuckhead, because there's no way you can make that amount of money without ruining lives. It's just not possible.
Yeah, I mean, you'll see at times that he helps out things and does stuff, but he still got to that point to begin with, so... Right.
It's like, and that's the other thing, too. They're like, well, see, the billionaires put a few wells in Africa. And I'm like, yeah, but they also completely deforested an entire, 10 billion hectares, and you're clapping because they... Like, that's what they do. It's like, the harm that they do far outweighs the benefits they provide.
Well, I think that's humanity in general.
Yeah, I think it's
really, we keep exploding in population, talking about how we have to have the population keep going up to make sure that we, provide for the elderly and all that. It's like, dude, we are such putting a strain on this world.
Well, it's funny. I like. I can't remember who. I think it may have been George Carlin, but I've heard a lot of comedy. But basically, he's people be like, "Oh, save the planet, save the planet." It's like, planet doesn't give a fuck. Planet will be happy when we are gone. And I was just like, you know, when people say save the planet, they're actually saying save ourselves. It's like they're like the planet's been hit by asteroids and this, that, and other things. Like Mother Nature will be fine. We'll be fucked. He's like, oh, what's it matter if it goes up 20 degrees? We're gonna be fried, but plants will just move. Like,
Well, or they'll die off and they'll go through the phases they go through. And, you know, there could be another, that's like you said, there could be another ice age. And it's like, no, the planet's still here. It's just, we're gone. I'm trying to see
I don't
if I
know.
can.
I just think like if we're gonna pretend that this is the greatest country on the planet, then like there should be enough to go around, you know. Like if we're gonna pretend that, you know, rich Christians actually give a fuck, then but not build houses and provide food and clothing for the homeless, and you know, like that's part of the thing too that frustrates me specifically about, you know, talking about small R and big R religion. It's just like it's like the Joel Osteens of the world, right, and the televangelists, and it's just so frustrating that, you know, they use something like people's faith, you know, functionally against them to be like, oh, well, you know, you're not a good Christian unless you donate, you know, oh, the more you donate to me, you know, it's literally the fucking leper messiah from the fucking Metallica, you know, like, right, you know,
Yeah.
you know, get you know, buy a better ticket and get a better seat, right? Like it just seems very, it's just very frustrating. It kind of it sours the milk of religion in a whole, because I think there can be a, you know, beauty to belief, but it's just been bastardized into like hating the other, or, you know what I mean, like we've been fighting over whose sky daddy is whose sky daddy for thousands of years. I think it's time to stop killing people over whatever belief is, you know. Like if your religion says that you got to go kill people to get into heaven, yeah, guess what, probably not a good religion to be following, right? But they all kind of say that shit. Like there's like all of them have that violent aspect to them, and it's just like, I think the cosmic joke is we're all supposed to get along no matter what you believe, and the people that fight the hardest against one another are the ones going to be in the fucking frying pan, if it even exists at all.
Right.
So, you know, that's just kind of my, like, I don't know. You can be religious and kind. You don't, like, I don't need a book to tell me not to kick somebody in the nards, right? Like, do unto others, you know, don't be a dick because you wouldn't want somebody to be a dick. It's really not that hard. But here we are fighting over a piece of land because somebody thousands of years ago, you know, it's just, I don't know. I think once religions get too big, it's a net loss, because then it's just groupthink. You know, some religious leader decides he's going to take something out on some other group, and then that other group wants to, and then it's just whole families killing whole families, and it's just fucking stupid. They're like, yeah, well, we want this land, so.
That humanity's been like that smart, so.
But you know what's wild too? Like by the numbers, it's still one of the most peaceful times that we've ever kind of lived on. Sure, it doesn't. You can't really tell that to people that are in active war situations, but yeah, by the numbers, it's still one of the more peaceful times that we've lived on the planet. It's fucking wild in modern era, rather.
We well, I mean that's the thing too, is, you know, people can point out like how much, you know, almost grosser, sicker things are, and that things, and it's like, yes, and it's still going to stay as peaceful because there's so many more people. So when you have that much more people, you're still going to have some fucked up shit.
Yeah, that's funny you mention that too, because, you know, a lot of people say, oh, you know, like the cities are really violent and, you know, you can get mugged and this and that. I was like, not really. It's just that people inherently can be shitty, right? So if you live in a population of 1,000 people, there's likely not to be that many shitty people in that group. But if you live in a population of, you know, 10, 15, 20 million people, then there's likely to be a large quantity of shitty people amongst the throng of normies, right? So it's just numbers. Like, yes, there's going to be more shit happening in the city because there's more fucking people there. They're like, no one's coming to my house. I'm like, yeah, no one wants to go drive 20 minutes on a country road to come see your mother take a shit, dude. Like,
hey, did you complete this yet?
What?
We were here because you had to complete this board.
Yes, it says search for the altars and cleanse them. So I'm still where are we short an altar?
Apparently so, or you didn't do what's his name on one of them.
I mean, there's a check
on him for all of them.
Where's the?
Check one. point. Maybe there's another altar over here. Yep, another altar here.
Yeah, I was gonna say, because the last one is the boss. It's that fucking goat skull thing.
Oh.
Yeah, I just think like if the people that are soft as fuck and cry over everything could toughen up a little bit, and then the guys who are super tough and want to kick everybody in the dick, if they could just calm that shit down, and we could all just meet in the middle. People could get a little tougher, other people could get a little softer, right? Like, oh shit! All right, time to focus. Oh my god. There's just so many fucking people, man.
Die. We got it.
I just kept rolling.
Oh.
I literally haven't done anything.
I just kill them all. Oh, boss guy. You missed me.
Yo, why am I marked red? Get out. No. Don't mark me. Don't mark me, bro.
He doesn't like you.
Let's see that. Dude, yeah, just napalm death that motherfucker.
Oh, I missed. Oh, this is where he gets all his power back. Remember, they're all like that now.
Oh, watch out for them purple balls. Purple balls, those are worse than blue balls.
I was gonna say for some reason he wasn't paying attention to me at all, so I was okay with that.
Yeah, right? Armor is broken.
Oh, then that'll help. Oh, that won't.
I don't know what lightning attack you just did, but that hit him like a fucking...
Oh, that was a gas grenade. But also trying to stay out of blood too.
Taking pretty good chunks out.
I don't know if that was my dad that just came in or Leah.
Oh shit, I'm dead.
And you need this. Fuck.
That's alright, it'll go through. I'll just chill. You can take him out.
Oh, I got stuck. No, that didn't work.
You're gonna have to take him out. Yeah, those are big chunks of health when you throw them bombs. Shit.
Oh, yeah, I made sure to upgrade them before everything else. Just because they seem to do a lot of damage. Oh, he's got me marked. Is he dead?
Yeah.
Or I'm frozen.
Yay, yay. Yeah, so this is one of the bosses that actually grants you spirit.
Oh, yeah, I had already gotten it. I remember now. Let's get Finn out here.
It's a war banner.
One second. I want to see who's... Leah's awake. Stop. got a message from my dad just saying, stopping by. It's like, when? Alright, so you're clear on this board now, right?
Yeah.
Cool. Go back to town.
I'm just looking at some of the Herald of Ash. Yeah, so we're good on this one. Let me talk to Finn. Not really anything worth grabbing, is there? Ooh. Ooh. Woo, woo, woo.
I'm gambling real fast. Garbage and garbage.
Garbage and garbage and garbage, garbage and garbage and garbage, garbage and garbage and garbage.
What would you like?
Damn, I just wrote a fucking hit, bro.
That'll be useful. Deal. What would you like?
Alright, so the next one is, travel to Olgum Village. Free the prisoner at Olgum Village. That's where I'm at.
And I might have to not sign off, but just stand there for a minute. My dad shows up.
Sorry, I might have to go downstairs a little bit anyway. We're just trying to maybe pop a level before I go down. I'm just trying to free the prisoner. Oh, just hit the button again. So say for example, if you fire like a normal shot and then hit the same button, it'll reload it.
I just got to wait a second. Alright. That ain't too bad. Yeah, you don't have that lightning shot yet? It should be coming. Something shards. And basically, once I got this, I stopped using the fire ones, so I decreased the fire damage and increased my electric.
By decree of the Count of Ogum, your whispering and conspiring has not gone unnoticed. I hear your mockery. However, your plots
Kind of fucked up to see a victim tied to a fucking post, dead tied to a post, and be like, I wonder if he's got any gold in his crevices.
I alone will crush.
Oh look, 3 gold. Where the fuck was he hiding that? Oh, it was wrapped up in his clothes. Got it.
But an avowed traitor.
You got it.
Fuck yeah. That's the myth, right? You're supposed to leave a coin inside a somebody's foreskin to pay the bearer. That's the... Yeah. Ow. Goddamn exploding pigs.
Here it comes!
What the fuck is this guy? Over here. I feel like we fought this guy like 100 times.
Yeah.
Oh, that's not good. He's having a bad day. Just lost his head over it.
Take you bastard!
This is personal. Need a sec.
Yeah, the guillotine.
Eat this! Need a sec.
Fuck. I heard it and I rolled at the wrong fucking time.
Justice will be served.
Damn.
My brother's supposed to come.
Throat out. The guillotine. Knots.
Yes.
Get down.
You can take him out, just take him out, I don't mind.
Guillotine. Knots. To run. Minced meat.
Don't worry, I think I get trashed, so.
The guillotine. Knots.